got everyone quiet, and then I wasn't ready, so my apologies.
It's not pulling up.
More technical
Yep.
difficulties.
Okay, just do mine.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Mr. Thoreau, would you be willing to lead us in the invocation?
Certainly.
Okay, and Ken, would you be willing to lead us in the pledge this evening? Okay, please rise.
Dear and gracious Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for the ability to meet this evening and to go about the job of self-governing in a free country. We ask for you to be with these commissioners this evening as they go about the business of the city of Aztec. Give them wisdom and judgment and help them make good decisions. We also want to ask your blessing on our troops, both here and abroad, and protect them, Lord, because they protect us. And just be with us this evening, Lord, and grant us your kindness, your mercy, and again, your wisdom and judgment for these commissioners. We ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Carla, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Herbert,
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Syed,
Here.
Commissioner Randall,
Here.
Commissioner McClure,
Here.
Commissioner Rogers,
Here.
all present.
Okay, thank you. Next is the agenda approval. If there are any items on this evening's agenda that needs to be pulled from consideration, now would be the time to do so. Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
move to approve the agenda as given this evening.
Okay,
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second to approve this evening's agenda as given. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, next we have a proclamation this evening. This is Manufacturing Day, October 7th, 2016. So I'll read this into the record. Whereas the United States National Institute of Science and Technology has announced observance of October 7th as National Manufacturing Day, and whereas manufacturing has a powerful and positive impact on New Mexico's economy, and whereas New Mexico manufacturers employ 28,000 New Mexicans, and whereas the manufacturing sector in New Mexico exported over $3.65 billion in goods and services last year, and whereas the average salary in the manufacturing sector in New Mexico exceeds $58,000 annually, and whereas in 2015, goods manufactured in New Mexico accounted for 96.7% of all exports from the state, and whereas exports of New Mexico's manufactured goods increased more than 150% from 2010 to 2015, and whereas manufacturers throughout the state invite guests to tour their facilities during National Manufacturing Month to see what is truly New Mexico made. National Manufacturing Day. In witness whereof, I, Sally Burbridge, do proclaim the month of October 2016 as National Manufacturing Month throughout the state of New Mexico and in the city of Aztec. Do we have anyone here to accept this evening? No takers. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next we'll move into citizen recognition. Are there any commissioners with citizen recognition this evening? No, ma'am. Okay, employee recognition. No. Okay. And our city manager's not here, so this is gonna be really fast. Okay, next we'll move in the consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda will be voted on with one motion. If there are any items that do not meet the approval of all commissioners, a commissioner may request that the item be heard under items from the consent agenda. Okay, are there any items to be removed?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to pull out item B for
Okay.
discussion, as in
Okay.
boy.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item B.
Okay.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second to approve this evening's consent agenda with the exception of item B. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Commissioner McClure, item B, travel requests.
I'm a little confused on this one.
Well, one of them says that the mayor is traveling, and that's the manager.
City mayor.
Yes.
That's where, okay, so I was wondering, and I don't know who puts this together, but last year, we had the date of travel, the department, and the person, the employee. So then I wouldn't have even pulled this because I was like a little confused.
Yeah.
So, and so now this year, we seem to be doing date, department, the employee's not named. Any reason why?
Well, the reason, and we've gone back and forth on this, staff has concerns because this is a public
document.
agenda, publishing who specifically is going to be gone, that there may be some vulnerability, you know, or they're not home type of thing, and so that's why the employee's name is not included.
But it says it right in the summary beforehand.
It has the position.
Yeah.
In the summary?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Now, if you know who fills those positions, then yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to figure out.
Right.
Sneaky burglar.
So have we had a problem with that? Was that?
No, but staff had concerns, and so
Okay.
out of respect for staff, we tried to eliminate the names from the log.
Okay, so the city manager went to the ICMA annual conference.
Correct,
And that's for certification.
correct.
Did he know he could do it all online, live stream or after stream, and still get the credits?
I don't know.
This is one of the things I wanted to talk about with travel, because I did go to it, and I mean, it's a great website they have, and they're so accommodating. I mean, you can do something, even live streaming, ask questions at the time of whichever session that you're going to. Would have saved the city $2,500 on that one. So I'm thinking on things like, you know, if you can get accreditation and you can still do it because these sessions are available to download for a year. The keynote speakers, you're available to download for 60 days. And it says it still goes towards your credits that you get. I'm just thinking in these times with the state of New Mexico and the problems that maybe if this had come beforehand, because it's coming after the fact. So that's why I asked Carla about our resolution. I don't know why it's coming after the fact since it's every year.
Some, you know, sometimes they get busy, don't have it on their calendar sufficiently in advance to prepare their travel requests. And unfortunately, by the time we get them in finance, we aren't able to get them to an agenda prior to the travel actually commencing, or in some cases already having been completed.
So what do we do when we don't follow our own resolution?
Well, we are following the resolution in that it says that the city manager can approve
Right.
travel, and that's what's happening.
All right, well, for the record, Carla, just my comment, I know the city could have saved $2,500 on this particular trip, and he still could have gotten a full certification for what he needed. And I just think we have to be more mindful of that in the future.
Well, and it's certainly something that in tight budget times, we could certainly ask staff to look at those things. But I can say that there's also benefit to going in person. There's networking and people that you meet and have conversations with
I
that's not
know.
gonna happen online.
And I understand that, but I'm, in these times, as you said, in these times, I think we need to tighten our belts just a little more. And we could have saved, you know, a little bit of money here. Because, you know, we have these travel requests every 2 weeks.
Right.
So, and I understand the one that our city engineer has to go to for sure, you know. He needs all those hours to be there, but anyway,
What we need to
That's
do
all.
though is make sure that message goes to the city manager. That's our direct path, is to the city manager.
actually, I've talked to him about it before.
And Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I have to say that there is a lot less travel than what there was when I first became a commissioner. So I think that staff is trying to cut down on what they do. And I agree that there's a lot of networking that can go on at some of these things that you can actually talk to people that are maybe having some of the same issues that you're having, and you can, the networking is very valuable in person at some of these conferences also.
And if memory serves me, this is the only one he's attended that wasn't in-state, correctly? I mean, I think. Anyway, I echo the mayor. There's
Anyway.
value
Anyway.
in going.
Okay, so, no further questions?
No, ma'am.
No,
Okay. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve employee public official travel requests.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, that takes care of items from the consent agenda. Next, we'll move into citizens' input. If there's anyone here who would like to address the commission on any items not on this evening's agenda, you can have up to 3 minutes to do so. We need you to sign up at the table to your right. No one's running for the table? Okay. Business items. Business item A, intent to adopt ordinance 2016-453, amending Chapter 2, Article 5, Advisory Boards, Division 5, Library Board. Do you want to address this at all? Or I guess I could start by asking if any commissioners have questions on it.
Actually, I did have one, and I don't know if it's a big deal or not. The way it was written, would it accommodate children that were being homeschooled?
Yes,
Okay.
it would. They'd need
didn't-
to reside in Aztec School District or be going to a school in Aztec School District. And we deliberately wrote it quite broadly so that we could encompass a homeschooler, a community college person, the Navajo dormitories. You know, that's why we didn't just make them reside in Aztec School District.
Okay, I
Okay.
see. Who was a resident within,
I think it's a good idea.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's to try and engage our youth, give them that experience, and for us to benefit from youth voice, and which is why we made them a voting member. The pattern across the nation is to have your youth just as an advisory board and not voting, but we actually, after discussion with our library board, decided let's allow them to vote there, let's give them a real voice.
In the staff
Okay.
summary, it says they're not a voting member.
Okay.
So do we need to amend that?
Let me see if
Yes,
it's,
they were meant to be a voting
It
member.
says youth will not have voting privileges.
In the ordinance, didn't,
It doesn't say one way or the other in the ordinance. Yeah,
yeah, we erased the non-voting part in the library board member, in the library board thing. Yeah. Oh, okay, I know the library board wanted them to have voting privileges. So I'm not sure what we do. We have to take this back and give it to you again next time.
yeah. So we could amend it now.
I'm sorry
couldn't
about
we?
that.
And then there's the public input period, and then we would vote
Yeah.
for the final.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we were more or less unanimous, I think, in the library board that we wanted them to actually have real participation, not just be token youth.
and the ordinance, it does actually say the youth representation will not have voting privileges.
Yeah, that's what Kathy's
in
just
the
shown.
ordinance,
Okay, yeah.
where?
When you
I'm
look at the
glad we
ordinance.
picked up on that now before it got
The second
voted.
whereas.
Yeah,
The
I
second
see that.
whereas,
Mhm.
you could just pull
Oh.
not out.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on this item?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And so this is intent to adopt, and so I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
move to approve intent to adopt ordinance 2016-453, amending Chapter 2, Article 5, Advisory Boards, Division 5, Library Board, with the amendment of that youth representation will have voting privileges.
A second.
A second, okay. Carla, would you please call the roll? Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. All right, then that brings us to the land use hearing portion of tonight's meeting. Okay, if everyone will bear with me, I get to read everyone's favorite script, and then we will begin. Okay. The following hearing procedure is for all hearings on tonight's agenda. A land use hearing registration form is located on the clerk's table for those who wish to receive a copy of the results from this hearing. You must provide your full name and current mailing address in order to receive a copy of the land use hearing order. If you wish to testify and provide comment on the matter at issue, You must register with the clerk on the land use hearing registration form and be sworn in with staff, the applicant, identified parties, witnesses, and interested persons. The meeting tonight will be conducted under procedures mandated by the New Mexico Court of Appeals in Battershell versus the City of Albuquerque, which are intended to protect the due process rights of all parties. Under this ruling, the following procedures will apply. Parties to the meeting will be identified, as will any witnesses the parties may wish to give testimony, as well as any interested persons wishing to testify and provide comment. City staff has a responsibility to assist the Commission in fully developing the meeting record and may testify. All persons offering testimony will be sworn in by myself, who is authorized to administer oaths. All persons offering testimony will be subject to cross-examination by Commission, City staff, and the parties to the hearing. Testimony will be limited to the relevant matter being heard. The items to be decided at tonight's public hearing are: Item A, an application for a zone change from A1 agricultural or rural to C1 limited retail neighborhood commercial district at 221 West Aztec Boulevard. And item B, an application for conditional use permit at 221 West Aztec Boulevard. Testimony will be limited by myself. For the purpose of this meeting, applicants are defined as, is it Damian Donati? Yes. Okay, represented by himself. Do we have any other individuals signed up on the registration form? Thank you, Chief. Okay. Other persons may be designated by the Commission as parties if they can show to the satisfaction of the Commission that they have an immediate, pecuniary, or direct interest in the outcome of the meeting. Witnesses are those persons designated by parties to present testimony on their behalf. Interested persons are those persons interested in the case but not identified as either a party by Commission or a witness by any party. Aside from the applicant and city staff, are there any persons who wish to be identified as a party to these items? Okay. Seeing none. Okay, so to the Commission, do you accept Mr. Damian Donati as the party for these hearings this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. As we move into the land use hearing part of this meeting, is there a challenge to the jurisdiction of the City of Aztec Commissioners to hear any of the hearings on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none. Are there any conflicts of interest or personal biases to be declared by a Commission member?
No.
Ma'am.
Have there been any ex parte contacts regarding the upcoming matters that a Commission member needs to declare?
No.
Ma'am.
Okay, at this time, then, will staff and the applicant wishing to testify regarding application for a zone change from A1 agricultural or rural to C1 limited retail neighborhood commercial district at 221 West Aztec Boulevard, and the application for conditional use permit at 221 West Aztec Boulevard, please stand and raise your right hand. Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, please be seated. Thank you. Okay, testimony and evidence must be directed toward the application for a zone change from A1 agricultural or rural to C1 limited retail neighborhood commercial district at 221 West Aztec Boulevard, or the application for the conditional use permit at 221 West Aztec Boulevard, and any applicable federal, state, or municipal laws or regulations or criteria which the person testifying believes to apply to the decision. Failure to raise an issue with sufficient specificity to afford us and other interested persons an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal on that issue. Any party, as identified by the Commission, may request a continuance of this hearing if able to provide documentation or evidence in support or opposition of the application, in addition to what was available at the time that notice of this hearing was provided. In the conduct of land use hearings, unless there is a continuance, if a participant so requests before the conclusion of the initial evidentiary hearing, the record shall remain open for at least 7 days after the hearing. Okay, I'll briefly go through the pertinent parts of the presentation as shown on the screen to your left. So we begin with staff summarizing the staff report to the extent necessary to enable those present to understand the issues before the commissioners. The commission members may ask questions of staff, and they may be cross-examined by the applicant. The applicant will then have up to 15 minutes to address the commission. commission members may ask questions of the applicant, and they may be cross-examined by staff. We don't have parties or interested persons, so at that point, the hearing will be closed to all testimony, and the commission may discuss the issue amongst themselves. The commission will then make a decision and issue findings of fact and conclusions of law, move into closed session pursuant to New Mexico Statute 10.15.1.H-1, the Open Meetings Act exception, continue the public hearing until a specified time, or take the matter under advisement and announce their recommendation at a specified time. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Ed, are you our staff person this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now's when you need an assistant, right, to run the tech. So-
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, before you tonight, you have two parts of a land use hearing dealing with the same piece of property. For the first part, we're looking at a zone change from A1 agriculture to rural to a C1 limited retail neighborhood. As you can see on the map above, the top part is what it's currently zoned as, where the green shows that it's an A1 piece of property. So use the technology. And the applicant is asking to change it to a C1 zone property, which is suitable for this particular location, given it's surrounded by other C1 properties. Staff recommends approval of this, given that the zone change is appropriate, given its location within the commercial corridor of West Aztec Boulevard and its relationship to the surrounding properties. I'm open to any other questions if you have any.
All right, commissioners? No, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're getting off easy tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. All right, Mr. Donati, if you have anything you'd like to cross-examine for clarification of Ed, you're welcome to do so. If there's no cross-examine, you do have up to 15 minutes to approach the commission. You do not have to.
I'll approach just to introduce.
Okay.
Madam Mayor and Commission, we are excited about the project. It's a healthcare facility, and I'm Damien Donati, a national healthcare developer. We work with health systems around the country, including Aztec and many other states. So this will be a very nice facility. Ultimately, we'll get to the site planning stages later, but that's basically what I wanted to say at this point, unless you had some questions of me.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, did you have a question?
Not for Mr. Donati,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
For Ed.
Any questions for Mr.
No, ma'am.
Donati? No. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. You have questions? for
Yes,
Ed?
Commissioner?
My only question was, in this while we're doing a zone change, I guess, I'm not sure how to word it, but is there any way not to have to do the conditional use permit
Also?
Well, we looked at
Since we're
other
changing
zone
the zone.
districts and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and C2 offers a similar thing. You still have to, it differs back to C1, and so in C1, there was a place in the code that talked about doctor's offices, and that's a permissible use, and when it had to come before Commissioner as a conditional use permit. But given that this is a facility that's going to be more than just a doctor's office, we felt it more appropriate to go through a conditional use process, because then that allows them to develop a facility that's beyond just a
Multiple
doctor's office.
services.
It will have services for outpatient care. It will have a blood work
And imaging
facility,
center.
an imaging center, yeah.
Phlebotomy station.
So it has, it's not a hospital, but it serves more than a doctor's office. And so that term clinic is what we honed in on, thought that would be the best appropriate zone for this.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Ed?
No,
No,
ma'am.
Okay.
I thought he said lobotomy, not phlebotomy.
I did
And I was like, wow.
We're bringing
I'm
it
sorry
back.
if I snickered there, because phlebotomy, okay.
Okay. So no further questions from commissioners?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then at this time, we will close the hearing to testimony. Is there further discussion among the commission?
I don't have
No,
any.
ma'am.
I think it's great.
Absolutely.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, then I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve application for zone change from A1 agricultural or rural to C1 limited retail Neighborhood Commercial District at 221 West Aztec Boulevard due to the 3 findings of fact.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Carla, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Burbidge,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner McClure,
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sight,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. All right, land use hearing item B, application for conditional use permit at 221 West Aztec Boulevard. Ed?
Okay, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, as I alluded to earlier, this is the second part of this land use hearing process, and we just touched upon talking about why we were going through a conditional use permit process, because it's more feasible to be done this way with a zone change to a C1, which you have just now approved.
Are there any questions for Ed while he's updating his tech?
No.
No, I don't have
Okay.
any.
All right. So what are you bringing up for us, Ed? Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
To give you an idea of what is being proposed under the conditional use permit.
Got it. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mr. Donati, kind of same drill.
Yeah. I guess to add to the purpose for the C1, or the conditional use, is right now it's a medical facility, including an imaging center with an MRI and a CT, et cetera, and it has clinical space for rotating specialists to have more specialists represented in the community,
Right.
and potentially physical therapy, but phlebotomy, which is the blood-drawing aspect of it.
Thank you.
Not low bottom.
No.
Yeah, as well as the urgent care center. So this is really moving what's on South Main to a larger building.
Okay.
The South Main will be backfilled with another use, and
Okay.
that's yet to be determined, but it will be a medical use
So
as
it'll
well.
relocate the urgent care and the lab facilities that are currently on South
Right,
Main.
but expanded
Okay.
quite a bit.
Okay.
And so the conditional use will also allow, there could be other potential
Right.
medical needs down the road. It could be other outpatient care. It's just not determined at this time, but there's space to do it, and there could be a need down the road, and this would allow us to do that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for that additional explanation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, any other questions for Mr. Donati?
No.
No? Okay, any questions for Ed?
No.
Okay. Then we will close the hearing to testimony. All right, further discussion among the commission.
No, ma'am.
All right, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I move to approve application for a conditional use permit at 221 West Aztec Boulevard due to the 2 findings of fact.
Second.
Okay, Carla, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Burbidge,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Sight,
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers,
Aye.
Commissioner McClure,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for coming, being here this evening. Much appreciated. Okay, moving on in the commission agenda, then we'll move to city manager, commissioner, and attorney reports. Just briefly, we will be doing finalist interviews for CEO candidates for Four Corners Economic Development Thursday and Friday of this week. So,
Yay. Sally gets more time.
I'm ready. I'm ready. The unfortunate thing is, we're doing this the end of September. Give them a minimum of a month, that puts us November, and then there's holidays. So it'll either be in about a month when we have someone here, or it'll be first of the year, yeah.
Do your canning now.
So, anyway, and that's all that I have for right now. Mayor Pro Tem.
I did attend the MPO meeting, last week. Still, frustration over the arterial and the DOT's standpoint on it from their, on the funding and stuff, but, so nothing new really. They did say that, in the MPO, they said that, they had not received any TAP projects from Aztec, and the deadline is November 1st, so, but it's stepped out, so, anyway, I'll check with him on that, just to see if there may not be anything that we've got, coming. They're also, just for your information, down the road, they are encouraging cities to, they finally, completed the Complete Streets, plan, which is, being friendly for everybody, pedestrians, bicyclists, motorists. And they are hoping that once they get it all fine-tuned, that they will have each individual entity adopt that plan.
Adopted.
So it's just something to think about for the future that will be coming down. Other than that, I think that's all I did want to say one thing. Most of you know that we lost a very valuable member of our community last week, and Mr. Gene Current, and he did serve as a commissioner on our commission for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I just wanted to say that I attended his service along with Ken and Delane, and Jim Crowley was there, and I'm not sure who else, but what an awesome tribute to his life. And what a great man he was, and what a great asset he was. He's going to be greatly missed. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, a question on the NPO stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Are they forming their citizen action committee?
Yes.
Okay, so are they still looking for folks?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if
Oh,
that's
yeah.
something that,
Thank you.
do you guys have information on that at the Talon? Do you know, Debbie? The NPO Citizen Action Committee or Citizen Input?
Advisory
Committee.
They're looking for citizens from each community that would like to serve on that. Thank you for reminding me.
Right, just as a citizens.
As a citizens advisory committee. And they will, they'll just kind of look at the things that the MPO is doing and give a
different perspective.
A different perspective, yeah, right, a different perspective on that, so. If anybody knows of anybody that might be interested in serving on that, it's totally open. They don't know exactly when they'll meet, probably every other month like the MPO does. And come to some the MPO meetings to stay up on the things, and so, but they'd have to do bylaws and all that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the fun stuff. Anyway, if anybody knows of anybody, just give me a call. Thank you.
Commissioner Rogers?
I've attended no meetings.
Okay.
There haven't been any to attend, in all fairness.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, I know it's being run differently this year, so I really don't know, but last year I know a couple wanted to participate and they get pinked. Except that Salmon Medical Foundation's not managing the Kathy Lincoln Memorial Fund anymore, so I'm really not sure. My contact has left their employment, so I'm not sure what's going on.
And I've not heard
I
anything.
haven't heard anything.
But I know October's coming up pretty quick,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
in case anybody wants to check into it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Randall?
I just want to echo what Commissioner Sipes said about just, ex-Commissioner Curran. But that's a big reason why I wanted to be a commissioner, and just his point of view and ideas, and I just wanted to state the same thing, that he was a great man and great commissioner, and we'll miss him a lot. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner McCord?
Gosh, I have more to say than any of you. I did go to Coffee with the Chief, which I've been doing for almost 3 years now, Chief. It wasn't, and I would encourage anybody to come. He does this once a month on the third Tuesday, right over there at the police station. It's informative. Once he knows where you live, he constantly puts radar there and catches you speeding. Oh, no, that's not it. No.
That's not the program?
Once he knows where you are, actually, he does tailor for the people who show up for the meetings and lets them know what's going on in the area, whether there have been any car break-ins or anything, which will alert you to, of course, lock your car and things like that. So if you know anybody who wants to go to the Coffee with the Chief meetings, he says he's going to put out another little press release. Debbie, you might want to get on him about that. I went to the Harvest Festival. It's not exactly in Aztec, but certainly in our community this weekend. It was wonderful up at Wines' San Juan. Beautiful 2-day festival. I forget which year this is for them, 14th, maybe 15th. The fourth Friday thing that the Aztec merchants have done in Aztec, where they all stay open late on the fourth Friday of the month and usually have outside street musicians and art contests on the sidewalk and stuff. That seems to be growing. This was only their 5th one. So hopefully that will continue and as new businesses join. So that was good. I'm going to the ECHO board meeting, a special one. It seems like they do have a couple of candidates for a new executive director. Sarah Kainer will be leaving after almost 30 years. And when she came in, there really was no ECHO at the time, and they were totally broke. So I want to remind everybody that the Aztec Highland Games and Celtic Festival is this weekend in Riverside Park. I believe the breakfast ahead of time is being sponsored over at the community center. And is it Saturday morning? Saturday, starting at 7, I believe. Is it 7? 7 to 11. Awesome breakfast, low price, and it goes for a good cause. I went to the library board meeting, and I thought it was a terrific idea that you actually have somebody, because we do have a younger member there on the board, which makes a difference. And then to even allow a younger member their input, I think is just tremendous. So I'm really behind that. I was not able to make the final discussion with the flood mitigation recommendations that happened a week or two ago, but I am so thankful that it was put on our YouTube channel online, because then probably about 5 days later, I was actually able to sit down, watch it. That's just a great thing for the city to do, as far as I'm concerned. People who either can't make meetings here or can't make special meetings still don't have to be left out of the loop. So I want to thank Wallace and the IT department for setting that up and getting that online. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Mr. Thrower?
I just would like to echo the remarks of Commissioner Sipe and Commissioner Randall about former Commissioner Gene Current. Gene graduated a year ahead of me at Farmington High School, and so I've literally known him since we were kids. And what a fine man. He'll be deeply missed.
Okay. All right, then at this time, we'll go to department reports.
We had assessors in for accreditation this past week. We haven't got the official report, but when they always do an exit interview with the chief. So when they did that with me, they said it went very good, and they would be recommending that we will continue on with our accreditation. So hopefully we'll be getting that. They'll be hopefully present it to us in the December meeting they have down in Albuquerque. They have a conference down there, and they'll be presenting it to us at that time. I'm on the executive board, but they told me I'm not going to be able to vote whether we get a credit or not.
Is that what association?
I'm sorry?
Which association? Is that the chief?
It's just a law enforcement.
With the chiefs have a
Chiefs.
conference in December
Okay.
every year
Got it, okay.
down there in Albuquerque. And
Right.
they'll be at the chiefs conference,
Okay.
annual conference that they have as well.
Okay. That's
Police
what I was gonna, because
conference.
it's through the municipal league is part of
The
what
Right.
accreditation?
started.
Oh,
Right, municipal,
Yeah.
municipal league, but it's the chiefs,
Okay,
that's at
that's
their.
why I was asking, yeah.
And then I'll be at that meeting. I don't know if, you probably won't be there since you've got the other going on
I don't think so.
this
yeah.
weekend, so, in Santa Fe?
No, I'll be there.
Oh, okay. I'm
I'm
sorry.
thrilled. I didn't even mention that, but yeah.
Okay.
No, with our, yeah, I've got a lovely week lined up with our CEO selection going on for Foresight. I've got to be in Farmington by 7 every morning the rest of this week. And then after all of that and set up in the park Thursday and Friday, then I'm headed to Santa Fe about 5:30, 6 o'clock Saturday morning to be there for the board meeting, so, yeah.
Well, the president of the Chiefs Association can't be there, so I'm gonna be there, so it'll be my
Gotcha.
first
Gotcha.
executive board conference,
Okay.
so. I'm just gonna drive down that morning too, so.
Okay.
maybe you guys can
Congratulations.
race.
Yes,
I hope
good
so.
job.
Thank you, Chief.
Just one quick announcement, the Employee Association on Thursday is having Frito Pie Day from 11 to whenever we run out of chili. So you can pre-order, you just gotta come in, pick it up. We'll serve out of this room right here, and then you can eat here or you can take it to home or wherever. So you've got some time on Thursday, swing by, $5, get a drink, fill a chili, Fritos.
Ready to go.
Yay.
Okay.
Can someone run it down to the mayor while she's at the Four Corners?
Right. Lunch delivery.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken. All right. Since no one else is running for the podium, then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, I was hoping it would last a little bit longer. Just kidding.